my channel, welcome back to another video. I'm Jessie E, this is Ravenclaw, and you're watching. I haven't done a tag in a minute and they're absolutely my favorite videos to do, so I'm really excited that Jerry from Onyx Pages tagged me to do her Back from BookNet Fest tag. So as some of you may know, I went to BookNet Fest. It was my first time ever going, and that is a festival that is set in Orlando, and it's for book creators to go and meet up and hang out with each other, and it was freaking awesome. So the first question is, describe your BookNet Fest experience in one word, and I'm gonna go with awesome. Question number 2 is, what was your favorite session and why? And easily my favorite panel that took place on BookNet Fest was the We Don't Just Talk About Books panel, mainly because it had so many different creators on it, and creators who are diverse in different ways, and I loved hearing each of their thoughts on the things that they are passionate about and affected by that aren't just books. So it was very intersectional, and it was one of the most well-rounded discussions that took place during these panels. I felt like you had a lot of people kind of not holding back in their opinions and their rhetoric, versus with the other panels you could tell that a lot of people were not saying things that they actually wanted to say, and so I just loved the unapologetic nature of that panel. Number 3 is, what is one way that attending BookNet Fest has contributed to the growth of your BookTube channel? Now, I have been very MIA on BookTube ever since going to BookNet Fest. I went to New York right away after I got back, and then I was working, and I've been struggling with some mental health things, so I just haven't really been active, and so I haven't really tracked my growth. I don't think that my channel really grew at all. If you found out about my channel from BookNet Fest, let me know, like if you found out about my channel by meeting me. But overall, I really don't think that it has. However, I can say that on a kind of an emotional growth, it definitely helped me grow as a creator by really reminding me why I'm in this community, why I joined in the first place, and why I continue to want to be a part of BookTube, and that absolutely is the people. Question number 4 is, what was the most enjoyable non-bookish activity you participated in attending BookNet Fest? I love taking pictures. I love getting together with people. I love organizing people for photos. I love having that sense of community. And so I did a lot of organizing photos at BookNet Fest. We did like a Latinx creator photo. We did a queer booktuber photo, a non-binary booktuber photo. There was a Black booktuber photo. It was so exciting to like see all these people coming together to take photos of not themselves or with their best bookish friends. And so like getting together and seeing somebody and being like, oh my God, let's take a picture because I really want to remember that I got to meet you. I actively look back at the photos that I take. There really hasn't been a day since BookNet Fest that I haven't looked through the photos that I took. So I'm one of those people that if I take a picture, I actually do look at it multiple times. And so that was one of my favorite activities because I got to meet so many people and like share space with them in that way, and it was really freaking awesome. Question number 5 is, shout out a few creators you were excited to meet at BookNet Fest. At the top of my head, because I know I'm gonna forget people, Jess from Jess Reads Books, who ironically is the first person that I met. I was sitting in the lobby waiting to get into my hotel room, and Jess is just like, Jessie! And I just like see her gazelle long-legged gorgeousness running towards me. I love Jess so much. So Jess for sure. I was really pumped to meet the Tea Hags, to meet Brandy from, oh my God, I love Brandy's book so much. She is a ray of sunshine. English is
not my first language.
Ray of sunshine in my life, and just getting to see her and like hold her and sniff her hair.
Wait, what?
Was so fun and so exciting. I loved getting to read Yvette.
I'm canceled.
I loved getting to meet Yvette and Priscilla. I cannot talk today. Oh my God, and India. I love India. Also in Jerry and Olivia from I Livy for Books. When I hugged both of them, I literally almost did not let either one of them go. I didn't get to spend enough time with either of them, and next year, like, oh my God, they're both incredible creators, and you should absolutely be following them if you're not. Number 6 is, if you plan to attend next year, which I do, what is something you would like to see change at BookNet Fest? I'm not gonna talk too in depth about this, but I'm gonna give you 2 things. The first thing is pronouns, pronoun tags. All of that. We were given badges at BookNet Fest where you could put your pronouns so people can tell what your pronouns are. And what was happening is that people who were attending BookNet Fest were just ignoring the pronoun tags. Like I had a tag that said my pronouns were they, them, and people were just calling me she, her the whole time. Like not one person, the only person who ever asked what my pronouns were was also somebody who was non-binary. Not one person asked me what my pronouns were. I guess something that I would like to see change is that us as participants and attendees, I would like us to stop assuming people's pronouns, especially because there were over 10 of us non-binary people at BookNet Fest, and we all got misgendered really badly consistently. One of my non-binary friends pulled me aside and was like, I want to ask a question on one of the panels, but I don't want to get misgendered when I get called on. And so it made me really, really, really sad and upset that I had fellow NB creators who were scared to speak up or to draw attention to themselves because they were scared of being misgendered. So I think that that is something that we as participants really need to get better at. There was a lot of people who came up to me and were like, oh my God, like I'm a huge fan of your channel, I love watching your channel, etc. I like follow all your stuff, and yet they were consistently referring to me as she and a woman. And so I'm like,
do you really watch my stuff though?
Because I say I'm non-binary in like every video. I know it wasn't intentional, I know you didn't mean to hurt my feelings, etc., etc. But you can't say, oh, it was an accident if you consistently fail to use inclusive language, right? Because obviously you're gonna make a mistake if you always assume everybody's either a boy or a girl. So instead of like saying I'm sorry and all of that fun stuff, I would just like it if people would practice using neutral language more and then grow, instead of just waiting until you make a mistake and then apologizing and then going through a cycle of making a mistake and apologizing without actually ever working on your use of pronouns. The second thing I would like to change is that I really want moderators who are comfortable kind of like calling out problematic things that get said, or kind of really, really honing in on the conversation. There were so many times during these panels where somebody would ask a very specific question like, what is one way that we can support creators of color? And then people on the panel would respond, but also not actually address the question. So there was a lot of dancing around questions. And so it would have been really cool to have moderators who could say, no, let's go back to that question because it didn't get answered. And I think the phrase, I'm not able to speak on that topic, is a very powerful phrase, right? Like if I'm asked about something I know nothing about, right? Like let's say it's about, what it's like to be a disabled creator. If I get asked that question, I'm gonna be open and say like, hey, that's not my experience. It's not my place to participate in this discussion. I'm gonna pass the mic to somebody else who maybe is more qualified to talk about this issue. And I felt that there wasn't enough humble responses. I don't know if any of this makes sense. It's a small thing, it's not the end of the world. Overall, I really liked a lot of the panels. I don't like dancing around topics. And I feel like if we're gonna take the time to ask these kinds of questions and to have panels about diversity and these really big issues, then we need to make sure that our moderators, our panelists, are getting to the heart of those issues and are not afraid to speak up on those issues. If you are afraid to speak up on those issues, that's totally fine. Maybe don't be on that panel, or maybe not have that panel in the first place. Last and final question is really cool. Question number 7 is, what are some exciting, I cannot speak English today. What exciting initiative that is coming up on your platform that you would like other people to know more about? AKA BookFest attendees to know more about. I am hosting the BookTube Awards. I did this last year. I made a bunch of changes because there were many things from last year that needed to get tweaked. I have a co-host this year, and I'm also looking for 2 more people to jump in on the fun. And so there's a host application link. I will link my announcement video below. It has all the information about the BookTube Awards. It's basically a big way to celebrate multiple different types of creators and the BookTube community as a whole. So I'm super excited about that project, and I would absolutely love your support. All right, that is gonna do it for this video. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would absolutely love it if you became a part of my Dapper family. Feel free to hit that notification bell so that you never miss any content from Bowties and Books. And if you would like more daily content, follow me on my Instagram, Bowties and Books, because I basically live and pay rent to Instagram at this point. Until next time, stay sharp, and I will see you in my next video.